Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be have you here. You see, you may not hear me, I may be quiet, but I'm trying to sound as calm as possible. Throughout these years, throughout these last few weeks, we've seen a lot of issues happen. The NBA health and safety protocols kind of looks like a sham for some reason. The whole, and I'm not trying to say the whole COVID protocol is there because some things are there for a reason and they're there to be there because of to protect players, right? That's the instinct. But can someone ask me why is it that the Bulls are the majority in this protocol? 9 players. Then out of that, some of them will be banned. And finally, the NBA did something about it. But just as we go on, since I've never been that much involved, so let's start with the reviews of each game of each teams. So the Lakers, they're starting to pick their shit up back. Sorry to cuss. They're trying to pick the stuff up back. And the Pelicans, you know what? I'm not going to speak on the Pelicans until Zion returns. If it doesn't return, the only thing I'll say is that they're still a mess. They're still trying to figure out the perimeter defense needs help. You speak to some Pelicans fans on different lives that their stuff is. But let me make something clear. Let me be clear about something. We all have different opinions, different thoughts. You see, the reason why I got into basketball is, to be honest, my interest in it. The honest truth is, I was influenced to actually do this. One of my subscribers, Rap God Reloaded, just said, "You know what? Have you ever thought of actually doing basketball? Just doing basketball things for a second, and to have this honest conversation, I for once doubted that I can even try, but I'll still continue. But you want to know something real? And shout out to Fly Sports. He has always been one of my biggest. He has always been my biggest promoter. Like he was the out of everyone. He's been the first person to actually promote my video. And shout out to Fly Sports TV for that. I rock with you for that one. And thank you. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel. You see, I don't want to call someone a follower if you follow me on a social media because I just don't look at the follow. I say supporter instead. I see subscriber. You subscribe to my content means you are willing to listen to what I say. Right? You want to hear my thoughts. You see, on the Premier League side of things, Chelsea's looking good, but things are not the way they seem, right? The UEFA Champions League is the draws to be redrawn. You see, I'm trying to venture off into different sports because I'm also going to be talking about my favorite team until, you know, I figure out how to do things with channels. And if you want to help me, I'm open. I'm free. I'm open to listen because no one is beyond. I've learned one thing in my life, and that is you can't always do everything alone. No, you may think you trying to learn everything, but you don't know everything. So why not just learn from others? So once I try to do my show, I'll get an intro to this channel, and maybe even maybe someone to help me edit my videos or help do NBA stuff with it because I want to be doing commentary with NBA content without like doing research stuff. So things don't look like a mess. Speaking of, there's still so much to really learn in terms of ideas. I'm not gonna talk on the Ben Simmons thing because I'm thinking of doing a live for that, but I don't know. I don't understand how to set up a live like that. So if you want to help a brother out, you might want to help a brother out. So in a different thought, the honest truth is this. I was on a live the other day, and I noticed something, a familiar face. I'm not even gonna bring DJ to any of this, but I want DJ to really have a talk with the brother because there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion, but there's something wrong when you have a feeling that if someone don't listen to you, then they're bad, they're horrible. Me and you don't need to have the same thoughts. That's why we're human beings. There are people that would agree with you, but still have slightly different thoughts as you. It's the truth about life. It's the truth about anything. And the person I'm talking about is Best Impact because he's a good young man. He has a lot in his life. He's a great person, the way I'll see it. But the thing is, he needs to understand that people have different things to think about. See, I was on a Chicago Bulls Central live, and one thing I noticed is just because of someone didn't agree with him, he just left the live because someone doesn't agree with him. Like the guy said, Jello's not ready, and even though I don't agree with that, and I think Jello just needs to work on his game, and he'll be ready. Because my way of thinking is that Jello's sense of play just needs work. The only thing I'm gonna say is that let me be honest about Jello. Jello needs work. Let's be real about it. Defense needs work. He needs to get his strength up. He's good right now, but he's getting his stuff better. He's getting better. G League game, like me and the guy that were in that was hosting live, you wouldn't believe Jello should start a G League game. At least one G League game. We're not gonna go out here try to attack someone because you don't agree with them. You don't have to throw a temper tantrum because you don't agree with someone. You just say, I disagree with you. Isn't that what everyone says if they disagree? You can. I go on the live and I forget a person's name. It just skips my mind. You think everyone doesn't make errors? Dave James make errors, and I go at him and say, "Dude, you made this error," and he goes and say, "Yeah, it's all good. I messed up, man." He's just trying to get the facts straight. You can correct me, and I'll listen, and I will go to the next video I go and probably say what I just said wrong and correct it. Like most of the time, I'm just going on draft profiles and looking at the next rookies to scout how they do. That's probably most of my time. Scouting players, looking at what they're good at, what they're strong at, just to see the best teams probable for that player. But one thing I'm gonna say is this: just because someone have a different opinion than you doesn't mean. See, for example, have I played basketball? Yes, but not in a team setting. I've played basketball in the parks and all that, but not in a team setting, not in a higher level, as you would call it. But I play football, soccer in a team setting, in high level. wrestling team said. Truth is, I've played many sports as a high schooler and everything. But you know one thing they taught me as a person? Rule number one, you do not underestimate your opponent. Rule number two, respect. We all have a choice. You can't run out. Just say, hey, I disagree with you. And here's why I disagree with you. There's a point of having, this is why even when you do an essay, you have a counter argument. I don't need to agree with someone. Man, you don't need to have the same way of thinking. You just need to have a reasonable common ground. And that's what I always look for. Even I try to avoid conflict at every time. Try to find someone you both agree with. And that's how you go at it. If you see any life I go to, I always look for common ground. Where can we land on to say we agree with each other? It's okay to rustle a few nerves and make people angry, but it's also okay to have somewhere where you both can agree to say, yes, this is where we are standing at stalemate. A man says Jello is not ready. He doesn't say Jello's not an NBA talent or Jello doesn't deserve to play. He just said he's not ready based on what he's seeing. And when I said Jello has the same skill set as Denzel, he corrected me. They have similar skill set, similar ability, but slightly different. Does that mean I'm correct? Does that mean it's correct? It's an opinion. You have an opinion as me or different doesn't mean I should start fighting you over an opinion. Just please, all I ask is that if you have an opinion, it's okay to believe in it. Me, for example, when I speak and swear and all that, it's because I'm passionate about what I say. Sometimes I may be wrong. It's okay for me to be wrong. It's okay for anyone to be wrong. Because in being wrong, you learn. You know one thing they always say? Losses teaches you as a way to get away. That's why we see that I always go back to the lives I go to and listen. I listen to the lives just to learn what I did wrong. I look for what I did wrong. What I messed up on. Did I do right today? It's a way to get better assessment of myself as a person that does lives or videos. Train yourself. The problem is, what Best Impact did is that he goes on a tangent whenever someone don't agree with him. If someone forgets something, it's okay to correct someone. We all have this. When I'm screaming, you think it's just being arrogant. Have I insulted you before? No. Criticizing someone the way I feel and the way I treat my feelings doesn't mean I hate the person. See, basketball is a sport that's literally my second or third favorite sport. Seriously. Grew interest in it since I was age 12, but I actually started watching at 13. But you want to know something? When I was pushed to do this yet. I understand that sometimes there will be backlash. There will be times to just rethink and retool. I've been away because I've been busy with other things. And now that I'm back, I just want to just take things one step at a time, and figure things out. But right now, in terms of the predictions, the Hornets picking this shit up. They're doing good even without LaMelo, their star player. They're doing good. They're getting better. We're seeing the rise of James Bouknight, which means if Bouknight pans out, Rozier might be gone. You know, sometimes players just be something for the end. Some players be gone, and I'm proud to see players develop. Apart from that, it's just please. If someone have a different opinion than you, we all just need to find common ground. You can't hate me for having a passion for what I say or what I believe or what I have worded. You can hate me for that. It's okay. We all don't need to be friends. We just need to have something we agree on. And that's the bottom line. And for best impact, please go think for yourself and try to have an understanding that it's okay to have different opinions. You don't need to have someone to agree with you. You just need to have where you and that person can find a common ground. Because to be honest, I'm not even gonna brag. Because that's not my forte. But what I'll say is that, to be honest, that live ended up with a common ground. We all need to have the same thinking. We just need to have similar sense of understanding. Thank you.